Swamiji, thank you very much for talking to me. It's very fascinating to be here.
Thank you for being here.
It's very fascinating to be here to see so many people who have come to meet you and talk to you. I want to start off this dialogue by asking you a very simple question. How do all of us find peace and happiness in our lives? What is the magic that we need to do to be happy and to be peaceful within?
Happiness is actually an alchemy process in us, independent of any external happening. We are trying constantly to achieve happiness in the wrong direction, thinking that only certain permutation combinations of the external happening can cause happiness in us. It is like a completely misunderstanding the chemistry. If A plus B is going to be C, and we go on try to add C plus D and reach the A, which it is never going to happen. Same way, the alchemy of the happiness has to be understood as an independent process than the external happenings and permutation combinations of the external happenings. This itself solves almost 80% of the problem. Then, building happiness is a separate profession we need to do, like making business.
Oh.
It is unfortunate we believe just by making business or building our career or building a relationship, happiness is achieved. No. It's a separate alchemy process. Of course, thousands of times simpler than building a career and profession. It may be simple, but it is a separate process. We need to look in to the basic understandings which makes that spiritual alchemy process of happiness happen in us. Maybe looking into that and following that science, happiness can be developed, and developing happiness can be the first fundamental foundational requirement even to develop our business and career and all the other things. Because if we develop happiness, peace will be side effect. Peace itself is not main effect. Peace will be side effect. That will equip us to handle all the things we need to do to build our career, profession, relationship and all that. Without building the happiness inside, if we directly start building external things, one, tremendous stress. Second, even after achieving the goal, we suddenly feel whatever we lost in the path is too much to reach this result. So that leads to frustration. I call it depression of success.
Oh.
Successful, but whatever we gave up looks too much we gave up to achieve this. After achieving that only we understand, I think this may not be that worthy. So building happiness is an independent science, alchemy, which every individual need to do before even beginning the life. If he missed, at least now.
Swamiji, in our lives, we are subject to so many external rules. We are told to behave in a particular manner, to live in a particular manner, to eat in a particular manner. Now, do we have command over our own lives? Do we have the ability and the right to decide what is good for us as we seek happiness and peace in our lives?
Whoever does not understand the context is bound by the rule. Whoever understands the context is empowered by the rule.
No.
Any rule, whether it's a traffic rule or dressing rule or eating rule, any behavior, any rule, if we do not know the context why it is formulated, that will be binding us. If we know why it is formulated, two things will happen. One, even while you follow, you will not feel you are bound. You will not be feeling bound if you stop in the red signal in the traffic rule, if you know the context. while you are following, you will not feel bound. Second, all the gray area will be your freedom. The freedom which comes by knowing the context is to end. One, even while you are following, you will not feel you are bound. Second, all the gray area is your freedom. But when we don't know the context, even while we are following, we will feel we are slaves, and we do not know the gray area, and we do not have the freedom or command over the gray area. At end of the day, even powers is nothing but knowing the gray area of the cosmic rules. When we know the context of the cosmic rules is dharma. When we know the dharma, even if you follow the rules, you will not feel bound. And because you know the gray area, you know where to play. Knowing where you can play and where you need to obey itself is a power.
Swamiji, all of us want power in our lives. We want control, we want wealth, we want people to listen to us. And this need for power in all human beings is the root cause of much conflict. Because this power is exhilarating. How do we overcome this need for power within our souls, within our body, within our lives?
See, first, when we are not able to handle ourselves, control ourselves, when we are not able to come to a relationship with ourselves, we are trying to do this to others. For example, when we are not able to handle ourselves, if we are trying to behave like giving upon us, we will give upon the society. If we are trying to behave like controlling us, we will control the society. How we feel with ourselves, the same way only we will feel with the world. If somebody is trying to control others and feel controlling others gives them joy, there is a deep vacuum in them that they are not able to control themselves. So, they are struggling in controlling themselves. When we are struggling to control ourselves, we will also be struggling to control the world. If we come to completion with ourselves, knowing clearly, these all can be controlled. For example, my eating habit, sleeping habit, my digestion, all these can be controlled. But my blood circulation, my breathing, all these cannot be controlled. That is actually good for me. When we know, I myself put something in automatic gear for my own benefit. So, this what I put in automatic gear is not binding me. It is actually some of the responsibilities off from me, which I decided. For example, our breathing pattern, our blood circulation. We put all of them into automatic. By us, it is our decision. We put them in automatic so that we can attend to something else. End of the day, coming to the source of everything, context, and understanding everything we are responsible, makes thousands of things clear. When we start getting complete with ourselves, we will manifest the same completion with others. When we are not able to control ourselves, we will try to control us and control others. When we are not able to control ourselves and we give upon us, we will give upon us and give upon others. Everything, the way we behave, whether in a traffic signal or in our career or in our relationship, everything finally boils down to how we cognize us, how we behave with ourselves. Our idea about us is the source from which all this manifests. Even the need for the power is not always going to lead to a completion space or happiness space. We know.
Yes.
But still,
we do it. we do it.
I should say it's a blind spot. We know our goal is not going to make us feel the way we want. See, we want certain feeling at the end of the goal, and we want something as the goal, even though we know this feeling and that goal is not going to come together. Sometimes we just start traveling towards any one direction. So I should say, it is more or less our own blind spots, based on our blind spots inside us.
Inside us. But Swamiji, we live in a society. Now we have relationships. We are children of a parent. We got friends. We marry. We have spouses. We have children. We have colleagues. We have gurus. Now, this need to find peace within, how does it correlate with the need to have relationships? Can you let relationships dominate your life? How should two people deal with each other when they live together? They're part of a family.
With whoever we live, if we are remembering somebody or seeing somebody more than thrice a day, we are responsible for how they feel about us.
We are responsible.
Yes, sure. Because they are part of us.
Oh.
See, when you cognize everything, for example, if you cognize your peace, can you exclude your spouse and kids and cognize your peace?
No.
If you cognize your happiness, can you exclude them and cognize your happiness?
No.
So if somebody is part of your cognition, they are part of you.
We are all together.
They are part of you, us.
They're part of us.
Us. Whoever is part of you, when you cognize your fears, can you exclude them and calculate your fears? No. Something happens to them is also your fear.
Yes.
When you cognize about your joy, can you exclude them and cognize?
No.
So whoever is part of your fear, your joy, your pleasure, your pain, everything happening to you is part of you. So how you feel with them, you feel about them, how they feel about you, for that you are responsible. Unfortunately, we always think, why should I be responsible for what they think about me?
Yes.
Which is, you see, you don't need to be responsible for the person who goes in the street, passerby. How he feels about you, you are not responsible. You don't need to be.
Yes.
Because he is not part of your life.
Yes.
But everyone who is part of your life, now all the titles you describe, spouse, son, father, daughter, guru, all these relationships are not passerby people. People who walk in the street. They are part of your very cognition. In the cognition, if they are part, how can you not be responsible for how they hold you or perceive you? The biggest blind spot all of us have is whoever is part of our thinking system. See, for example, when you visualize what is your joy, whoever is part of them, part of that visualization. When you visualize what is your fear, whoever is part of that visualization. When you visualize what is your happiness, whoever is part of that visualization, we are not even taking responsibility for what they think about us or how they hold us or how they perceive us. Taking responsibility for everyone who is part of our cognition, how they feel about us, how they hold us, how they expect us. Bringing completion in that means if they are holding us in some way, expecting us to be something, either you make them understand that expectation is not going to become real, or if you are very sure you are going to make it into reality, giving it as a commitment and removing the insecurity from them. This is what I call completion. Either you remove that expectation, the way they hold you, or you make it as a very vocal, oral, clear-cut commitment, and you stand by it. This removes, I can say, 99% of the incompletions.
But Swamiji, why is there conflict in families between two people? Between
I'm
spouses, why do people break up, don't live happily? How do you handle conflict and what causes this conflict?
Basically, you keep somebody as part of your cognition, but you are not ready to take the responsibility for how they expect you. See, for example, when somebody visualizes their joy, if they do not keep their spouse and children in that joy frame, then they don't have to be responsible. If they visualize fear, in that fear frame, if something happening to their child, their spouse is not there in that frame, then he doesn't need to bother about what they think about him or how they hold him. When your joy frame, greed frame, life frames has all of them as part of it, then we are responsible for how they hold us, what we stand for them, what is our commitments and relationships, what is our understandings and said unsaid agreements. Not leaving any gray area with the people who are in your life frame is relationship.
But Swamiji, this is very fascinating. Then how do we relate to the rest of society? What is our obligation to every creature on this planet and everybody else?
Our immediate life frame, whoever is, maybe 25 people for a common man, a bigger family person may have 100 people in that frame. When we work with this 100 people or 25 people who are in our life frame and bring completion, we will learn the knack of keeping gray area zero. What is your expectation of me and what is my commitment to you? What is our relationship? Defining it and living it, what I call integrity. When we work with these 100 people, we know very clearly how to work with the larger group. See, the Pindanda is our body. Our body related, wherever our body moves, these 100 people are the people who are in the part of the life where this body moves. If we bring completion with this group, then where our mind moves, means people are influenced by our thought currents, who are trying to influence our thought currents. We know how to bring completion with them. Then the larger society, ultimately, the whole universe is us. If we can master this simple completion with the Pindanda, means people who are in our cognition, as I said, if you are remembering thrice or seeing them thrice a day, they are part of you. They are part of your inner frame, life frame. Whether your joy, your pain, your bliss, your anxiety, our depression or our excitement, everything is dependent on them. The people who are in the inner frame, if we don't care about them, they can collapse our joy in 2 seconds. One phone call is enough.
Yes, yes. That's true, yes.
Understand? So then we are responsible. Every human being should start ironing out the relationships, especially people who are in his life frame. In his life frame, this ironing out, this completion, the lowest gray area will bring tremendous joy, security in relationships among the beings. This will teach an individual how to deal with the larger group.
But Swamiji, if we have to find inner peace, we need to be happy. And we have so many obligations to everybody. Where is the time for ourselves? How do we reconcile this need to get along in the life frame, in the personal life frame, in the societal life frame, with our own space as individuals?
Happiness is not always time about the time. See, now you made 2 statements. First, you made a statement, time. Second, you made a statement, space. If we are involved with everyone, where is the time? Then you made a statement, where is our space? Actually, our space is independent of the time. If our space is evolved, 24 hours we will be happy.
Oh.
The time we are spending, you feel the time you are spending on others, where is time for me? Because you do not understand, we do not understand, all the others are in our frame.
Oh.
See, end of the day, our whole frame need to be happy for us to be happy, because that is what we call happiness.
It's an extension of our own persona.
You see, when we close our eyes and visualize what is happiness, we say, my son will be very happily sitting next to me. My spouse will be very happily talking to me. We will all be there somewhere in a vacation. Whatever you visualize, for that frame to become reality, you need to work in every person involved in that frame.
Yes.
So how can you call that as spending time on others?
Yes.
End of the day, the frame we are trying to make it as happiness. We need to take the responsibility for the whole, and working on all the people who are involved in that frame has to be only addressed as working on us, not giving time for others.
Oh, okay.
Because, see, or we should have a frame. I'll be all alone sitting in Himalayas in a alone cave. That is my joy. If we have that as a frame, then no problem.
No problem.
No problem. We don't need to work on anybody.
Yeah.
We don't need to bother about anybody's happiness.
And
What is our frame of happiness?
we define it.
That we define. So when we define our happiness, we have all the people inside. But when we need to work, we think we should be working only on us, not on others. That's a blind spot.
That's the blind spot.
That's a blind spot.
What is your life frame?
So let me be very let me be very honest. With all my integrity, I tell you, when I look in on my joy or my bliss life frame, I do not see even me in that.
Oh,
Let me explain. When I look in and see, even this body is not in that frame, so what goes on to this body also is not going to affect my joy frame.
oh,
My joy frame is such a permanent bolted in my consciousness. All I need is even just a remembrance of my existence for me to be joyful. So for example, for some years this body will function, then some years after that it may not function, it may stop functioning, but that is no way stopping my joy frame, because even this is not part of my joy frame.
I understand. Yes.
Then you may ask, then what for I am working?
Yes.
I am working casually. Whoever comes in front of me, I will try to make them joyful. And I will be working with all my integrity, but I am not bothered if they don't become joyful.
Oh,
Because I don't feel even this is inside my life frame. So even this is an extra.
outside.
Because even this body is an extra, everyone else is extra.
Yes.
Whenever we work for somebody's happiness who is not in our life frame, is service. If we are working for the people who are in our life frame for their happiness, it is responsibility, duty. And if we are not doing that, we are not even being responsible. We are irresponsible. If we are working for the happiness of the people who are out of our life frame, that is service.
Okay. But Swamiji, there is another big question that comes up. Why is there so much of conflict in the world when at the end of it, mortality is the only reality in life? We are born, and over a period of time, the body disappears, we go away. But why is there so much conflict when we know that everything ends somewhere?
I should say, all conflicts is the blind spots of the individuals fighting, showing only others' blind spots without showing their own blind spots. For example, there is A and B. A has blind spots, B has blind spots. If A sees his own blind spots, it will lead to completion. If he sees only the B's blind spots, it leads to conflict. All conflict is nothing but inability to see our blind spot and too much of third eye on others' blind spots. See, when it comes to seeing others' blind spots, we use 3 eye, 4 eye, all eyes. When it comes to seeing our blind spot, we don't even use 2 eyes.
2 eyes.
End of the day, all conflicts, whether it is a conflict in the level of the home, should we have coffee or tea? Should we have pizza or burger? Idli or dosa? Starting from there, should we have this party or that party? Or this economic policy or that economic policy? Capitalism or communism? Whatever. To that level, everything is nothing but inability to see the individual blind spot or collective blind spot. For example, I have a blind spot that I don't want to work, but I feel everything exists, it should be shared to everyone, even though I have not worked for it. So it is an individual blind spot. Many individuals who have the same blind spot gather together and start communism. Understand? Now, many individuals who have the same blind spot, they just help each other, support each other, they feel so comfortable with each other, and then they decide, come on, let's all start a group. So whether it is a individual level, or social level, or the country level, or even in the universal level, or the cosmic level, every level, we try to take advantage of what we have not earned, and we try to keep that as a blind spot without looking. That is what leads to conflicts. Whether it is available resources or man-made resources like money, the concept of money, or the natural resources like water or land or minerals, whatever. End of the day, not seeing our own blind spot creates incompletion, and not only not completing it and seeing others' blind spot create conflicts, and many people of this level ganging up creates communism.
Swamiji, this raises Swamiji, this raises another important question.
Yes.
Why are some people so successful and many people are not so successful? Is it a lack of ambition, lack of energy, lack of self-realization? Why does success come to...
I should say, there is no being on the planet Earth which lacks ambition. Ambition is programmed in DNA.
In a DNA.
DNA. It is responsibility which need to be cultivated.
Responsibility.
Ambition is animalistic. Responsibility is human.
Ambition is animalistic.
Animalistic. By your very existence, you are ambitious. Only then you can grow from fish to tortoise, tortoise to pig, and even the evolution. Even the evolution happens because of ambition. Ambition is in our very DNA. There is nobody which can say, I don't have ambition. People come and tell me, oh, I don't want money, Swamiji. I am not interested in it. He said, if it comes in lottery for $1 billion, no, then okay, Swamiji. Then it means what? I am not ready to work for money, not that I am not interested in money.
You have an interest.
So ambition is a nature, animalistic. It is responsibility that decides success.
And if a person is successful, what is his obligation to his fellow human beings, to the rest of the world?
What I am saying, whoever was in the frame when he was not successful, whoever was in the frame when he was moving towards successful, whoever is in the frame after his success, he is obligated to all of them.
He is obligated to all of
them. To all of them. It is his duty.
It is his duty.
Beyond the frame, it is his service.
And there is a duty to perform service.
Yes. No, I should say, let me be very straight. Whoever is involved in the frame when he was not successful, when you are working towards successful, when he is successful, that is dharma. He has to be responsible for all of them in the frame.
Yes.
Beyond that is a punya.
It is punya.
If he goes beyond the frame and does good, who is not involved in his success, that is punya, that is service.
Is punya required?
I should say,
why should he have punya?
Hindu tradition expects punya also to be a part of the success.
Punya to be a part of the success.
Part of the success. You see, as the Shastra Pramana, if I refer to Hindu tradition, Agamas insist on us serving beyond our frame. Agama insists not only people who are in your frame, but it says very clearly, the first responsibility and priority is people who are in the frame. People who have been part of your life, your frame, when you were not a success or when you are working for a success or after you become successful. They only become your first priority. But they recommend always, you don't stop there. Because when you start taking responsibility for all the people within your frame, you develop an infrastructure and tool for taking responsibility. Let it not be unused after you complete everyone who are in your frame. So even serving, you need to develop certain infrastructure.
Yes.
If you have developed it for all the people who are part of your success, then after that, why should that infrastructure be just keeping quiet?
Yes.
Wear and tear. Let it be put for the people who are outside the frame. That is called punya. So, from Shastras, if I go back to Hinduism, the source of Hinduism insists on punya.
On punya.
On punya. It insists you do that. Maybe I should say that punya keeps a lot of people not entering into immoral and wrong way of hurting the principle on which we built our wealth. For example, if we don't care about the society at all who are outside our frame and they are deprived, they may not be sitting and waiting for all the dharma analysis and all that. They will just come and throw a stone and steal what we have.
Yes.
So for that not to happen, this kind of a balance helps in a big way.
Then Swamiji, what is the role of dharma in our lives? What is dharma? How do you define dharma? And how did it come into being? How does it exist? How should we look at dharma in our day-to-day life, in our extended life?
See, if I have to give a literal meaning of the word dharma, I should say natural law of life. That's a literal meaning.
Yes.
If I have to give my interpretation, in every level, an individual's dharma is, it's my interpretation. I wanted to keep these two separate. The Shastra's definition of dharma is natural law of life.
Natural law.
That is the literal meaning. If I have to apply that in our day-to-day life, in an individual level, the individual's dharma is understanding the self, world and God. That understanding is the first dharma. With this understanding, he starts making decisions in the world. How I should behave with people who are near to me. How I should behave with the people who are far away from me. How I should behave with people who have a conflict of interest. All these cognitions, decisions, he comes to based on what he thinks as himself and world and God. Jiva, Jagat, Ishvara. Understanding these three is a basic dharma of an individual. Then the dharma means next level. What is our dharma towards the society? What is our dharma towards the larger country? What is our dharma to our own clan? For example, doctors. Doctors have dharma to the doctor's clan. Engineers have dharma to the engineer's clan. Lawyers have dharma to the lawyer's clan. Entrepreneurs have dharma to the entrepreneur's clan. all that comes next. But all these questions, all these understandings of dharma and questions related to dharma can be answered by one formula. What is the idea I have about me? What is the idea I have about the world? What is the idea I have about God? Me, playing temporarily in the world, want to be permanently resting in God, is my dharma. For that, how I should behave with the world, how I should behave with me, how I should behave with God, should be the scale with which we measure at every moment how we should behave.
Swamiji, we learn in the epics that when dharma is overtaken by adharma, avatars come. We get a new being who comes and restores the balance. How can this balance differ and become one-sided? Adharma getting more than dharma. How can it happen when people are in a constant move to live as per dharma?
Natural evolution happening to the next level is the natural law of life. We not allowing that natural evolution in our day-to-day life is called patterns.
Oh.
For example, naturally in this age, this should be my ambition. When you are young, if you are not liberal, we don't have heart. After 40, still if you are liberal, you don't have brain. No, these are all the natural evolutions should be happening to us.
Conservative.
It should be happening to us. If we are not letting the natural evolutions happening to us, it is called patterns. Too many people are not letting the natural evolution to happen is the cosmic pattern. Whenever an individual is stuck with the individual pattern, to break that pattern and liberate him, Guru appears in life. Whenever the universe is stuck with an universal pattern, to break that and liberate universe, an incarnation appears. Too many people, I should tell you, during Mahabharata time, too many people are stuck in a pattern called trying to grab without working for it. The extreme consumerism. Anything I see is mine. I do not need to work for it. The extreme consumerism was becoming a mainstream thought current. And it was becoming a strong pattern where the production has dropped more than 90%, but the need and the demand and the greed and the grabbing in any method is becoming lifestyle. So to break that pattern and reduce the load on the planet comes Krishna.
Oh.
If you see the whole Mahabharata war, the main thought current trying to have without working for it.
Trying to get more and more.
Trying to have without taking responsibility for
them.
it. It is not that whether Dharmaraja rules or Duryodhana rules, what is there? But the problem is Dharmaraja is ready to take the responsibility for the people. He is ready to set that trend as a model. So many people also follow that model. With Duryodhana, when he is not ready to set the trend, Krishna knows if Duryodhana becomes a king, Duryodhana type of people only will become a model. So, breaking the wrong models, setting the right trend is the incarnation's job. Breaking the wrong patterns, setting the right trend is the job of an incarnation. When it becomes too much, for example, one small example I can give. 100 people are living in a community. 80 people are very responsible. 20 people are not responsible. We can enjoy their irresponsibility as cuteness. See, so cute from morning till night, he just sits, eats and sleeps, does not do anything. Okay. But if that becomes 80, it is no more cute.
It becomes a majority.
It becomes not only that, weight.
Wait.
Weight. So, when it becomes weight, and even after it becomes weight, and they are not ready to change that pattern, it becomes a strong thought current. Then no other way. Either the pattern or the persons who are not ready to give up that pattern need to be eliminated. Eliminated. The thought current and the model need to be eliminated.
So you
otherwise
justify violence.
Planet Earth cannot survive.
So you justify violence.
No. Please understand. Let me be very clear. Let me here come very clearly. I should look upon, it should not be looked upon as violence. It should be looked as a surgery.
Surgery. But who
See,
decides?
Yes, that is what. Let me look at that. The outcome of after what happens decides whether it was a surgery or violence. After effect of the Krishna has decided what Krishna did is a surgery.
Yes.
So it is only the after effect we can label it whether it was a surgery or violence.
But who decides the time is opportune?
No, let me be very clear. In Krishna's whole Mahabharata and everything also, he gave enough of long rope. He tried his best. It's not that he did not try. He tried his best. And even after that, see, many of those people who are killed in the war, they themselves have openly declared that it is better to die than to give up this pattern.
Oh.
Whether it is Duryodhana,
Yes.
or Karna,
They refuse to
or
change.
Bhishma, or Drona, all of them, what they finally declared, it is better to die because they know there is death waiting. Death became a better choice for them than transformation. Only they were eliminated. End of the day, they chose that. When they chose that, how can this be violence?
This can't be violence.
I should say it is a more or less mass suicide. See, the whole Akroni Sena, including Bhishma, Drona, Karna, everyone who is standing in Duryodhana's side, all of them know Krishna is an incarnation.
And all of them know they're in the wrong.
All of them know they are on the wrong side.
All of them know the result.
All of them know they can't win.
They can't win.
They can't win against Krishna. They know.
Yet why did they do it?
That it means it is a suicide, not violence. It should be very clear. It's a suicide, not violence.
Yes.
End of the day, because all of them know that they can't win over the Krishna.
They can't.
You think Bhishma had a courage that he can win over the Krishna?
No.
He knows he is going to fall.
Yes.
And that is why he kept Karna as a reservation.
Yes.
He tells Duryodhana, when I fall, you need a best commander. That is why I am keeping Karna. I abuse Karna, so he will not pick up weapon under me. So you have a safety. See,
Succession.
Bhishma
Yes.
abuses Karna.
Yes.
So Karna says, I will not pick
fight
up weapon as
you're
long as
there.
Bhishma is alive.
Yeah.
Then Duryodhana, he calls Duryodhana and tells, I am keeping him as your reserve. Reserved for your security. If I am gone, he will be there for you.
Yes.
So don't think I have done something wrong. I have done some good for you.
Yes.
It means what? He knows he is going to fall.
Yes.
You think Drona had the confidence that he will not fall in front of Krishna?
No.
He was very clear. But he was very clear, I will work because I ate.
Yes.
So as my integrity to what I ate, I will do it.
Yes.
So end of the day, all of them, it is a suicide.
Yes. Swamiji, one big question comes. You know, you spoke about God. Why is this feeling in society around the world? My God is better than your God. And why is this conflict about God? Who is this God and what is this God? There's so many people say, my God is better than your God is a lesser God, somebody is the children of a lesser God, and they all fight.
See.
And throughout human society, more death and conflicts have occurred because of this fight between gods. What is this? What is this God?
End of the day, to tell you honestly, my God is the supreme, is nothing but saying, I am supreme.
I am supreme.
See, our
So
own
God is an
ego, we
alibi.
project it on God.
God is an alibi.
God is just our projection. What we want to tell the world, it will be too obvious if we tell directly, I am superior. Then immediately you will come for a war. I don't have time for immediate war. So what to do? How to declare this in a very diplomatic way? In a very diplomatic way, to trying to declare this is what is my God is superior. The whole, if you analyze thoroughly the whole Hindu tradition, the beauty is the whole, whether it's Upanishads, Shaivism, Vaishnavism, or the Sakta, or Ganavatya, all the Sampradayas and Paramparas, they give importance to Ishtanishta, means your God is the ultimate, and from that all the energies come out, but you do not have any right to disturb somebody else's feeling. Their Ishta is the highest.
Oh.
The Ishtanishta is never allowed to become fanaticism. See, the Ishtanishta, for example, if it is a Shiva temple, Shiva will be ultimate. All the believers of Shiva will be worshipping him. And no doubt, in Jagannath temple, Shiva is the guardian.
Guardian.
Yes.
Yes.
If you see Brahma and Shiva,
Yes, yes.
both of them stand outside as
Yes,
guardian.
yes.
In Tiruvannamalai temple, Brahma searches the Shiva's head and Vishnu searches the Shiva's feet.
Yes.
The Ishtanishta and the universality of the supreme principle both coexisted in Hindu Sampradayas. If you see, our Ishtanishta was never allowed to become fanaticism. If I go into more details and Shastra Pramanas, it is very clearly declared, you have all the right to see your Ishta as the source of all the gods and goddesses, but you do not have a right to put this as a ultimate truth on others.
On others. So
It
it's
is
very
very clear.
individualistic.
It is not, we call it subjective truth.
Subjective truth.
It's a truth for the subject. It's a subjective truth. And ultimately, all sampradayas, including Shaiva, Vaishnava, Shakta, all sampradayas agree, divine is beyond any forms. It is for our devotion, he assumes the form. Like a water has no solid form, but when the cool breeze happens on the water, it takes a shape of ice.
Yes.
So our devotion gives this form. Behind this, the source has no form.
Has no form.
Source is beyond form. Our devotion gives this form. Even the greatest devotee knows the form with which he is worshipping will lose its form when he loses his form.
Oh.
See, as long as I have this form, I need a form. So I relate with it. At one point, both the forms will merge into the source. We call this Jnanavarishta Bhakti. If you see, even a common villager in Hindu tradition will have this Jnanavarishta Bhakti. If you see this, you will see in his house many gods in his puja room. I should say, the future of the humanity is not for one God religions. It is for either many God or all God religions.
All God religions. So there will be no conflict.
Not only there can be no conflict, there can be even understandings, higher understandings evolving. Not only no conflict, there is something called higher understandings. Means each of the God is infinitely powerful, potential, and this infinity is not bound by only one. Infinite infinities.
Infinite infinities.
See, even the one God religions also accept infinity of that one God.
Yes.
Infinity of the one God is a mentally retarded theory. How can infinity be only one?
Infinity cannot be one. It is many. It is infinite.
Oneness only can be infinity.
Yes.
Not one.
Yes.
So infinity is self-conflict meant. Infinity of one is a self-conflict mentally retarded theory. See, what I am saying, infinity is the peak conception, visualization, fantasy of logic, length. When somebody's logic is very, very deep and broad, the highest he can grasp is infinity. Unfortunately, his whole energy is sucked by the intellect. He has grasped the infinity, but his heart is left with no energy. That is why he did not grasp the infinity is infinity, not one.
Not one.
When we don't have a heart, only head, we consume infinity only one. When we have enough head and enough heart, we understand infinity, infinity.
But Swamiji, it raises a very important question. Is there a God at all? Or we have created a God just to be happy, to find certainty in our lives?
For example, surely there is a higher independent intelligence which generates, operates, destroys, dilutes, liberates. There is the independent intelligent force, no doubt.
A force.
Sure, independent intelligent force available, no doubt. The many ideas of gods with which we play, those ideas may be created by us and we are playing with it. God exists, not as we define it.
God exists, but not as we define.
But not as we define it.
But it is such a concept is very difficult for the human mind to understand. We all want to see something.
No, I should say, it is very easy for human mind to understand, very difficult for the people who have not yet evolved to be a human being, but in the human frame to understand.
Does the avatar have God, or is the avatar a manifestation of God?
I should say, avatar is the Vyakta component, means manifest component of the unmanifest God.
Of the unmanifest God.
See, avatar is the statement of God. God is the state of avatar.
Explain to us, Swamiji.
Avatar is the statement of God.
Yes.
Manifest of unmanifest.
Yes.
God is the unmanifest of the manifest.
You're essentially saying that there is a force above us, which is all pervading.
There is a force, I should say, not above us, above us.
Okay.
The above us gives a different context.
Yes.
Above us.
Yes.
Means no. See, what is unmanifest in all of us? I should say not even this way. It's a this way. Or this way.
It means like it's everywhere.
See,
it's everything.
When I say above us, it becomes like this. Or I should say, the air we are all breathing, the space we are all in, as independent life, the source of that life is God.
There is a source.
There is a source, and it is intelligence.
But so many...
It is not just power, automated mechanism or automatic mass software, like how they try to show in the Matrix movie. No. It is not a large automated matrix. No. It is an independent intelligence which can make decisions.
And very
which
large
can
decisions.
Intervene.
Large decisions.
What I am saying, not only large decisions. You see, it can make the decisions as big as moving the planet Earth closer to sun or far away to sun, and it can make decisions as simple as removing one small Rudraksha from this bead. It is capable of micromanagement and macromanagement.
If is capable of micromanagement, what is our role as human beings? Are we all Katputlis? Are we all puppets in a big puppet show where somebody is doing a superior power? Or do we have a right to decide and do things for ourselves?
Yes. Now let me, first of all, even in puppet show, puppet is not completely controlled.
Puppet is not completely
Yes.
controlled. Yes.
The bit, if the puppet, in the puppet show, if it's a 8-bit, only the 8-bit is controlled, not this bit, not this bit.
Yes. Yes.
Even in puppet show, puppets are not completely controlled. So, in our life also, we are not completely controlled and we are not completely free. There is certain amount where we have a freedom. For example, everything affects our life. We have a freedom to decide.
Full freedom.
Full freedom. Everything affects others' life. We do not have a freedom. Because others' goodness is involved in it.
So everything that affects everybody, we don't have the freedom.
We don't have freedom. Everything affects our life. If you sit and list out those things, all of them we have a complete control, complete freedom. It's like a cow is tied with a 2-meter rope length. Within the 2 meter, he can sit, stand, grass, do whatever he wants. Within the 2-meter length, if he behaves properly, the rope can become 10 meter or liberated once for all. So within the 2 meter, how he behaves decides the length of the rope or the liberation. Same way, we are all empowered with certain freedom. Within that freedom, how much of responsibility with which we behave, that decides whether our freedom length is going to increase or decrease or once for all freed. When somebody establishes his track record, his freedom is only going to do good to others. Suddenly you see, he is completely free.
No.
All the resources are at his disposal.
Everything comes to him.
Everything comes to him. All the things are under his disposal. And there is he doesn't feel suffocated by not having money, time, intelligence, energy, resources, anything which he wants to achieve. I am seeing very clearly. I tell you from my own experience. Whatever I want to do, I am seeing very clearly everything automatically aligns. I just have to see and enjoy the whole fun. If a power is manifesting in this body, I am already seeing the structure to reach this power to the world also gets assembled. Along with this manifestation, that structure also manifests. So I am very clear, there is a very powerful intelligence operating, and that does not mean I am sleeping. I am participating actively only to enjoy.
Only to enjoy that.